Enoch stands before the Ancient of Days. Imagine standing at the edge of everything you have ever known, and then being pulled beyond it. Not in a dream. Not in a vision. But in something far more terrifying than either. Something so real, so overwhelming, that when it was over, the man who experienced it could barely find words in any human language to describe what he had seen. And yet he tried. He wrote it down. And what he wrote has haunted scholars, mystics, and seekers for over 2,000 years. This is the vision of Enoch. And nothing in ancient literature comes close to it. The clouds gathered first. Great clouds, billowing in white, moving with impossible speed across a sky that no longer belonged to the world Enoch knew. Stars surrounded him, not distant and cold, but alive, burning, present. Lightning erupted in every direction, not striking, not threatening, but announcing. As if creation itself was clearing a path for something that had no equal. Then came the walls. Enoch describes a house, if you can call it that, built entirely of crystal. White crystal, burning like fire, encased in tongues of flame so vast and so bright that the darkness around it was not darkness at all, but simply the absence of something far greater than light. The floor beneath his feet was crystal. The ceiling above him was the path of stars and lightning woven together into a canopy that no architect has ever dreamed of replicating. And it was cold. Enoch tells us it was cold like ice, cold like snow, yet burning like fire simultaneously. Two impossible things existing in one place. Because this was not a place built by human hands. This was not governed by human logic. He entered. And inside that first structure was another. A second house, greater than the first. So great, so magnificent, so terrifying that Enoch writes plainly, he did not have the power to describe its glory. Think about that. A man chosen specifically to receive divine revelation, a man lifted beyond the veil that separates the mortal from the eternal, and even Enoch, looked at what lay before him and confessed that language failed him. The ceiling of this inner chamber was fire. Burning, roaring, consuming fire stretching upward into something that had no ceiling at all. And inside it, a throne. Not a throne of gold. Not a throne of stone or cedar or any material that has ever been quarried from this earth. A throne of crystal, radiating a glory so intense that rivers, actual rivers, of flaming fire poured out from beneath it like a living tide. Around the throne, beings of impossible form. Above the throne, the very fabric of the sky, studded with stars like gemstones set into the dome of a divine palace. And seated upon that throne, the Ancient of Days. Enoch describes a figure in robes whiter than any snow, whiter than any white this world has ever produced. A face so radiant, so luminous, so absolutely consuming that Enoch fell. He did not bow. He did not kneel. His body gave way entirely. He collapsed onto his face, trembling, every part of him undone, overwhelmed, prostrate before something so far beyond human comprehension that his bones could no longer hold him upright. He was terrified. He was shaking. He thought, in that moment, that it was over for him. And then something extraordinary happened. One of the holy ones, one of those blazing, impossible figures surrounding the throne, came to him. Lifted him. Spoke to him. And told him to rise and listen, because the Ancient of Days had something to say specifically, personally, directly to Enoch. The man who fell at the edge of eternity was being called forward into it. Now consider this, Enoch was not a prophet in the traditional sense. He was not a king. He was not a warrior or a priest. He was simply a man who, according to ancient tradition, walked so closely with the divine that the boundary between this world and the next simply dissolved around him. Which makes you wonder, what is it that lies on the other side of that boundary? And why was this vision buried, hidden, and kept from you for so long?